YBK Shakur is a prolific musician and artist in his own right, but through YBK Entertainment also uplifts smaller and breakthrough artists across Manitoba. With the release of AON FC, All or Nothing Freestyle Club, providing a musical workshop for a local school, and tours in Northern Manitoba communities, there's a lot to discuss on U Talk.
I'm YBK Shakur, Tupac Shakur. YBK stands for Young Black King or You Born King. I am artist, entertainer, performer, entrepreneur, a man of many hats. It's always a pleasure to be here. It's been great every time I've come on, and the little events we've attended together. It's always a good
The
time.
big announcement is your new project. Okay,
Yep.
AON FC or All or
AON
Nothing
FC.
Freestyle Club. So walk me
Yeah.
through this project, the vision for it, and how you came to be inspired to create it. I know it's 4 songs on there, but it's part of a larger 12-song piece. So let's just start with that beginning
Yeah.
part of creating this project and a little bit about it.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's see, where do I start? Let's start with the name. So AON actually, it goes back a bit to football, like soccer. I'm a big Manchester United fan. I've been for a very, very, very long time, more than half my life. Back in the day, AON was a sponsor of Manchester United during the times of like Sir Alex Ferguson. And so it was like when I was making this, it was a little bit of me trying to pay homage to that, but also like the understanding of like all or nothing is it's kind of like a saying
Mm-hmm.
from like outside of Winnipeg, where I'm from, like so it kind of fit in that sense, like all or nothing in the sense that if you're doing something, you give it your all, you know what I mean, like 100% or nothing at all, so that's kind of like the sentiments behind the all or nothing, and then the freestyle club is just like me thinking, I started off like making hip hop just off of freestyles, and that's really like me and like my whole squad, I guess, like everyone who's on the project. We all really just started from freestyling and just in a basement at school or whatever, and just like really having a love for the hip hop culture, right? So it's like these are all of the influences that came to play to create, All or Nothing Freestyle Club, yeah, or AON FC, yeah.
Well, it's like from the wise words of Master Yoda, do or
Yeah.
do not. There is no try, right? All or nothing.
Yes, sir, exactly. All or nothing, man. All or nothing. There's no in between. Yeah.
4 songs of this piece. What are each of these songs and what sort of message are you going through each of them? Because I know when writers and performers are creating things, like sometimes songs follow a chronological story. Sometimes they're more bits and pieces from all over life, or they're kind of more disconnected, more ideas of things. So at least for these 4 songs, what is it about them?
Wow, Ryan, you sound like an artist yourself, huh? I'm like, you're quite knowledgeable on this topic. Yeah. No, for me, I think like the first song on there is called All In. And that song is literally me reflecting on like essentially the journey I've had since like I decided to start making music, like recording music, which was like towards the end of 2019, the start of 2020. Like 2020, man, was a very like hard year for me personally, I think a lot of people in the world could relate, with COVID and all that. But like for me, it was also like a lot of like personal things, and a lot of like personal growth and instances that occurred. And so like 2020, I actually like moved out of my parents' house and I began like my journey, I guess, as an artist, the entrepreneur, and everything else that I've done afterwards. So like in the track, like it literally starts with left mom still scream 20 years old, and I told little bro, ain't no looking back. 3 years later, I was making that bag. All the haters ask how you move like that. Um, yeah, and it's literally that's kind of like the theme of the song because yeah, just reflecting back on the last like 3 4 years, when I left my parents' house and everything I've done ever since. And then yeah, and then the next track on there is called Frenemies. That one is featuring my broski Ojikoy, which is a Spanish English artist, and then another broski, One Deep. These are all like artists from the south side um, of the city. And that song, I think the title explains itself. Frenemies, just like friends who are really like, or enemies who pretend to be friends. You know what I mean? Like snakes in the grass.
Yeah, people who you think have your best interest at heart, but they don't. They're more about themselves.
Precisely. I mean, this track, I wrote this track probably like 2 years ago, but I added an extra feature like last year with my guy One Deep. I added him on the track, and I thought he just fit into the theme of the whole AON FC. The third track on there is called Into Your Arms. Initially, it was kind of like a freestyle. I was just like freestyling, and I really liked how it came together. It kind of starts with I said I was a man on a mission. Told his haters I ain't with the faking. These bills don't pay themselves. Wanna know these bills don't pay themselves. Wanna know how I move. Homie, please don't vex me.
Bars.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm handing out game like it's charity. Hating on me, want to know my net worth. Cause I did what I done. I paid off my dues while you sleeping around on my takeoff. Essentially, that's kind of how like the track starts, and it's me just like pretty much just thinking about the whole journey so far. As an artist, as a young adult, and just reflecting through like the ups, the downs, like the highs and the lows, and just remember like regardless, like in everything that I do, I do it with passion and I do it 100%, so regardless, I'm gonna be like successful, in the long run, and yeah, that's what the tracks is about, and it's just like kind of like finding that safe space, for me to
Mhm.
to myself to get clarity and like to like find like purpose in a sense, So when I say into your arms, it refers to like into the arms of music. Yeah.
You're mentioning that like freestyle was a very specific part of this kind of creating the track as a whole. Is freestyle kind of a component of most of the songs you create, or is there sometimes where you have the lyrics and the sounds already in your head? I would like to know, like, what is that process? Do you often like just freestyle until something feels good, or do you have more of a cohesive idea before going into specific pieces?
Some of the songs were like specifically written, you know what I mean, to like kind of like follow like a storyline.
Hmm.
I would say like maybe like 40%, 45% of the songs, and like the other percent of the song is just like me being in the studio, with my producer and going through some beats and just like freestyling on them and seeing like which one sounds good, like which one sounds right, which one fits into the message, which one resonates, and all of those like different components, so I guess like yeah, a big part of it is like freestyling, yeah, and just like because I think like when you freestyle, it's the most like rawest form of like content creating, like there's no like editing, just no precursor,
It's just your raw emotions, your thoughts in that
yeah,
moment creating that piece. And it's such an impressive skill. I mean, for most people who try to freestyle or anything in terms of rap or hip hop can quickly
yeah.
realize how difficult it is where you're trying to think while making it sound good and clear at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It definitely takes practice, like I mean, I guess some people are blessed with the gift of words, but for the most part it takes practice. Yeah, for sure. But like I think like it's a big part of hip hop, you know what I mean? As a whole, you know what I mean? I like to think of myself a big fan of the hip hop culture, so I like to pay respect, I like to pay homage, to the origin, every aspect of it, not just being one dimensional, but being versatile, like hip hop like I said earlier, is a combination of things. It's not just political. It's not just recreational. It's not just funk or gospel or rap. You know what I mean? Like it's not just R&B. It's not just an American or UK thing. It's global, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it.
So the four tracks on AON FC are part of that larger
Yeah,
12 song collection.
yeah,
So is this going to be future releases in the future, kind of like a trilogy coming out, like four each?
yeah, yeah, precisely. Yeah, exactly like that. Kind of like a trilogy, but I guess there's four of them, so it would be a series.
Yeah,
I don't
series.
know. Yeah. Yeah, the four tracks. So each release is gonna have four tracks. Yes, it's gonna be four of the AONs dropping. Honestly, it's a bit of like a marketing strategy and a bit of like storytelling in the sense that um I could easily drop him as a 12-piece album, but when you're looking at what the audience is, you know what I mean, and like attention span and like the average listener time and things like that, like most people wouldn't don't really listen to albums anymore, all the way through, unless they're your core audience or fans, So for me, I think it's just trying to like give each track the opportunity to shine, which is the last track on AON FC actually.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, you want to give people the opportunity to digest it, to understand it, get it going through the cycle for a little bit.
Yeah,
What was it? It's called Epic. It's someone who's writing about the journey of the Odyssey and Odysseus, and he's writing the different
yeah.
arcs of the series, and it's really fun. Instead of having it all at once, having these bits and pieces that you can really obsess over before you come to the complete piece.
Yeah, precisely, man. Precisely. I think it's gonna work great, man. It's already been great feedback, from the audience so far. I dropped two tracks off of the AON FC, as singles, and they've been greatly received. So I'm looking forward to dropping the rest of the tracks and eventually dropping the rest of the series. Yeah.
But music, or at least releasing your music, is just one core component of YBK Entertainment. I know you host a ton of different events, helping uplift and promoting the voices of other artists here in Winnipeg. A couple months ago, had a workshop for people coming to the school. So walk me through that. How did that workshop go, and what sort of things have been kind of in the works, and what are your hopes looking ahead?
Oh man, yeah, no, that was a special moment for me, being able to go back to my high school and do an event there, interact with the upcoming youth, you know what I mean, and the young adults. It was really special, and I was thankful for it. I think it was a great time, and it was really like a learning experience, just getting to like hear feedback from the kids, like kind of things they're into, their hobbies, their top five artists, for example, and just like the awareness for like the local music, local entertainment, and things like that. I think that was like my biggest take for me, just um seeing that there's a whole niche, that isn't really being reached, that isn't really being like involved in the entertainment industry, and yeah, perhaps thinking of a way I could change that in a sense. I actually just got back from doing a Northern Manitoba tour with the Manitoba Arts Network, and we were touring through schools and some casinos and things like that.
Yeah, I saw that on your TikTok. Really exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, yeah, it was a great time, man. Like I thought I made music for like people like my age, and older. But no, like the kids were really like rocking on my music. I was a bit like unexpected by that, but I was thankful for it. And maybe moving forward, thinking we could definitely do more things like that. Like going on tours with different artists and not just doing city tours, but also like including like schools and going to like outside towns and municipalities and things like that. It was an eye-opening experience for me.
You never know what sort of impact you're going to have on people around you.
Yeah,
And in this case, like, I think it's so important to have individuals like yourself and some of your creator friends, going out, visiting these different locations to be an inspiration to get someone who might be like, this interests me, but seeing
yeah,
you going out there making music inspires them to maybe take that chance.
yeah, for sure, man. Like think like we're all inspired by the world. You know what I mean? Like an idea inspires another idea. And that's actually something that drew me particularly to Tupac Shakur. He has like this one like famous quote from like this interview he does where he says, "I might not be the person who changed the world, but I guarantee that I will be the spark that sparks the fire that changes the world." You know what I mean? And that resonated so deeply within me. You know what I mean? Like generations after his death, he is still one of the most influential person in the world. You know, and you know, some people might want to diminish his character or like or whatever in a sense, but like you know, you can't box him into just one thing. He wasn't just an artist. He wasn't just an entertainer. He wasn't just an actor. He wasn't just an activist. He wasn't just a philanthropist. You know, he was a lot of things. And for me, that inspired me to see that you could be more than just one thing, you know, in life. You know, you don't have to be one dimensional. And I think that's something that I try to instill in everything that I do, you know, like that's why our slogan is choose to inspire, you know, in everything that we do. Man, I was constantly being inspired. I was out north and I met this kid who made music, man, and he literally makes music on his phone with like headphones on and like in his truck, man. And like that was the most inspirational thing for me, man. Like, I was like, whoa,
Yeah, you
man.
don't need many tools to make art.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know. I'm honestly so glad to just be in this position to be able to give back, you know, give back to a culture, to a people, to a community that's given me so much, you know. Like I meet people like Mac, you know, Dakota Beer, Northside Baby, you know. These are all people that are like famous out in the rays and in Northern Manitoba, Ontario. And it's just like, wow, you know, like these are people that were just like these people, you know. Ghetto Bolio is another one. Yeah.
Amazing. Where can people go to listen to volume 1 of AON FC in those first 4 tracks? And where can they go to find out more about yourself and YBK Entertainment?
You could definitely check it out on all platforms. It would be like like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, Audiomack, you know, whatever it is, that's your preference. And you could check me out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, I guess. I'm not big on social media, but I'm definitely active on those platforms. Facebook as well. And yeah, I'm actually currently working on finalizing my website, so
Let's
I should have that up.
go.
Should have that up and running real soon, and also getting some merch done as well. We're going back on on a southern Manitoba tour, so I'm gonna have some merch done
So
to take with
exciting.
me.
Wow, so there's a lot to look forward to in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have any stories you'd like us to share? Or communities we should highlight? Leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk. And have yourself a good one.